Okay, welcome back, students. So the homework you have tonight is questions 3 and 4 of the worksheet we did today regarding profit, markup, margin, and markdown. Okay, and I've set up those questions for us here on a little HTML file that I'll share with you as well later. So I'm just going to hide the answers here. So getting straight into it, our first situation, you have it down as 23. Let's put a date, 26th of the 1st, 2026, and we have markup, margin, profit goes in there somewhere, and markdown. These are the big things we're doing. Okay, they can cause some confusion, so it's very worthwhile writing down a formula for it. So so first of all, we talk about buying price, selling price, and sales selling price. And our profit on one item anyway is selling, how much do we sell it for minus how much do we buy it for. Okay, that's called our profit. Then with profit we can calculate markup. We use profit, by the way, up for both the markup and the margin. Difference being that the markup compares our profit with the buying price, whereas the margin compares our profit with the selling price, and this can never be bigger than 100. This one can. The markdown is a value and a concept that we use around sales, and it's the old selling price minus the new selling price compared to the old selling price. Okay, none of these are in the tables, so we want to be very careful about this. Now, in terms of how do we write these answers, if we give them as percentages, we want to multiply each of these by 100. And I'm very, very reluctant to put the percentage symbol here, because the moment you do with a calculator using, find your, sorry, no, move this across here. If you find your percentage symbol, so you go 100, here it is here, the percentage symbol. Well, that's not 100 anymore, that's just the number 1. Okay, so you don't ever want to put that into your calculator. And that's the reason I'm just going to say these answers are in percentages, and you're just writing this in your calculator. If I put a percentage here, you might, and you remember it, you might end up putting the percentage into the calculator, which will nullify or undo the fact that you're multiplying by 100. So all of these answers can be given in percentage, and that's why we're multiplying by 100. Okay, so let's get into it by bringing our attention over here to the first situation and reading carefully for understanding. We have bought 14 items for €100 each. That's all of them. We've sold 9 of them for €300, and the us want to make a profit of 2,000. So we're going to change the price on the last 1,400. Maybe we're going to reduce the price and generate goodwill, or maybe we need to get them gone, depending on how big they are. There's all sorts of logistics to why you might want to sell stuff off at a cheaper price and get rid of it quickly. Okay, find the total cost price of the 14 items. So this is just a straightforward product, 14 times 100. So we'll start our answer here in handwriting. It's question 3A. Okay, the calculation is 14 by 100, but we want to write down the total cost price is calculated as 14 multiplied by 100. We can add 2 noughts to the 14. It's a money price. Okay, box it. That's that there. Next up, we have find the total profit made from the 9 items already sold. So what's the profit? The profit is the selling price of the 9 minus the buying price of the 9. Okay, that was tricky actually, because you could have been tempted to use this. I think we might have been earlier. So what is the selling price of the 9 items? Let's read it again. Find the total profit made from the 9 items sold. Yes. Okay, so the selling price of the 9, what have we got here? We've got buying price 100. Sorry, I'm going up and down here a bit. As their first selling price is 300. Let's leave the second selling price as a question mark, as a variable we don't know. We have to calculate it. Okay, and there's a split of 9 items and a further 5 items. Okay, so we've 9 items being sold at 300 minus what we bought them for, which is 9 times 100. Okay, that in your calculator will come out at 2700 minus 900, which in your calculator will come out at 1800 profit money. Okay, that's your answer to that. Profit per item. Next step, multiply it by 9, we get 1800. Okay. Next up, find the total profit needed from the remaining 5 items to reach a total profit of 2000. So here we have this just calculated, and they're saying we need that profit to turn into 2000. So we look at the difference first. So the extra profit, we just go 2000. What are we on now? Part C. 2000 minus 1800 with 5 items. So we need to make 200 euro from 5 items. Let's divide. We're just going to sell them for 40 euro. Does that make sense? No, it's profit we need to make. I think so, and I'm just thinking through it. So I think my 40 euro is added on to that 100. Let's say I'm in pressure for time. I'm going to answer 140. We'll see how we get on. Total profit needed from the remaining. Oh yeah, the answer here anyway was just a 200 euro. Sorry. I'm going to keep recording now because these recordings are never perfect. And we have 200 euro. The next bit, hence find the selling price required for each of the remaining 5 items. Yeah, so we need to make 200 in total from the 5 items. We need 40 euro profit on the 5 items. Hence find the selling price. So I hope you're with me here. I'm connecting all the dots. I have 100 euro off picture, of course, here. So I have 100 euro buying price. Divide that by 5, it's 40. So we're going to answer this one. Hence find the selling price. And we call that the second selling price of 140 euro. Box it up. 140. Now, next up is to find the markup on each of the remaining 5 items at the selling price found. So our second selling price was 140. We're going into markup. Well, markup is the first sort of formula where you compare profit. So it's S minus B to compare to B. Okay, and it's selling at 140 minus the 100 buying over the 100 buying. Okay, that's 40 over 100. Don't forget our multiply by 100 here. Put that there too, apologies. So what we have is we have 40 over 100, the hundreds cancel. We have a markup of 40%. Compared to what was originally a markup of 200% when you were selling them for 300. Okay. Find the markdown on each of the remaining 5 items if they were originally listed at 400. Okay, so now this is something that happens a lot just before a sale. So it's a ploy that it's shunned upon. It's when you walk in, say to a sale, and they tell you there's a huge markdown. And one of the things that's happened here is the 400 is a little bit larger than the original 300 selling price that we have at the top there, and that's because they probably didn't, not a single item was sold at it, but they want their markdown to look great. Okay, so basically we're going into the formula again, and we're just going to ignore some of these. We have to redefine it. So what this is looking like is they're saying that just before the sale happened, the selling was equal to 400. I don't think we even need the buying, which was 100, and then the new selling we know is 140, and we're going to calculate the old selling. This is the markdown, the old selling minus the sell prime over the old selling. Just remember the sell prime only appears once. Okay, times 100, and this is our markdown. Okay, now we have a lot of problem solving involved in this one. It's quite tricky. We have our 400, take away 140, so let's put it here, all over this number. Okay, let's just put it on the calculator and get the answer. So we have the entire fraction. We don't really need these because a fraction does its grouping by, the bar does its grouping for us. Okay, so we have our 400 minus 140 over 400, come out of the fraction, multiplied by 100. That way you don't need any brackets. 65, so it's marked down 65, they say, but not one person bought probably at 400, because we know that all 5 were sold way cheaper, but that's okay. So the answer is the markdown equals 65%. Box it up, that's your final answer. Now it's nice maybe to look at it this way, original price minus reduced price over original, and maybe I'll now start saying that both for myself and for you to deepen our understanding. Original price minus reduced price over original price times 100. Okay, and 65% comes out. Great. Right, so we're on to our next question, which is question 4 for homework. Get that calculator out of the way, and I might just lift up the camera a little bit so that I don't keep, so that I have the whole page, or most of it anyway. Okay, question 4. A shop buys 20 items for €50 each and has a normal selling price. So let's get our buying down here. Buying equals 50. Normal selling price, S, equals 150. Reduced selling price equals 120. Find the profit of one item. Profit of one item is the selling minus the buying. 150 minus 50 equals 100. Bring your money back in. That's the answer to question A. B. Okay. Find the profit on one item at the reduced selling price. So instead of using 150, we're going to use 120. Profit on the reduced item equals the reduced selling minus B equals 120 minus 50 equals €70 profit. Good. Find the markdown on one item when the price is reduced from 150 to 120. So this is the old selling minus the new selling, and we're coming to know our way around this in terms of this. Okay, yeah, I wrote it straight in, substituted from here. Okay, times 100. Let's let's see what we can do with this with a bit of mental maths for a second. That's 30. Not mental maths completely, it's paper and pen maths. That's 1 of 50 times 100. Look, you could certainly should use a calculator probably. Well, I'm just going to do a little bit of old-fashioned mental maths here. Those two zeros cancel. 15 into 30 is 2. The answer is 20%. Calculator or not. Okay, so it's a 20% markdown. Great. Okay, the shop sells 8 items at the normal selling price and 12 at the reduced. Find the total sales value. At this stage we're on D. That was C. This is G. Okay, so this is just a linear kind of multiplication of the different things. Sells 8 items at normal. Up we go here for looking for our normal. That was our buying, that was our normal. 8 by 150. 12 at the reduced rate plus 12 by 120. Okay, 80, 800 and 400. 1200 here, you can use a calculator. 12 times 144. Add a 0. And we add them together, calculator or not, you get 2640. Money. Okay, let's look at it again. We're talking about the total sales. Let's take a look. First bit and add the 2, 2640. Great. Find the total profit on all 20. So we'll take away the total buying from the total sales. Okay, our total sales, so profit, total even, profit is total sales, we just had it and it's still up here, 2640, minus our total buying. Now total buying is very simple because buying is always occurs at one price. So the 20 items were bought at 50 each. So 20 by 50. Two zeros and that's 1,000. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's 1,000. It is 1,000, isn't it? Check it in the calculator. 2640 minus 1,000 equals 1640. That's your profit. Another question done. I've gone back up, haven't I? What letter am I on now? D. I've done that one. We're on E actually. Nearly there now. One more part to go. And there it is there, 1640. Find the overall markup on the sale of all 20 items. A, B, C, D, E, F. And we have markup. We remind ourselves of what the general formula, one or many, it doesn't matter. Mark up compares profit to buying. Okay. Our buying is 100. Our profit is 1640. No, it's not 100, it's 1,000. So our profit is 1640. And we bought them for 1,000. And there's a times 100 here, which we don't put the percentage on, but remember our answer is a percentage. And that's equal to only 164 euro. Find the overall. No, it's not. It's 164%. I didn't. What I was doing there is looking for cents in my question, my answer, and I thought 164 sounded very low, but I was thinking it as money. I wasn't thinking through it, but that caused me to think deeper. Okay, so I am happy with 164, but it's 164%. Okay, and we're always keeping our thinking hats on because problem solving is involved in every exam question, especially in the section B, the second section. Lovely. Homework over. I have more questions for you tomorrow for revision. See you in the next one.